Let's say in the diagram below, points A, B, C, and D are the vertices of a quadrilateral. Now we have a quadrilateral A, B, C, D. P is the midpoint of line AD. Now calculate the value of R if AD is parallel to BC. Now after writing the information, they want the value of R. What is R? R is this one. If they say if AD with all the it's saving all the coordinates is parallel to BC. Now this line and this line, they say if they are parallel, must get the value of them. So obviously here we must equate our gradients. I get. Now can you get the gradient of AD? We'll be having -3 minus 1 over, you calculate it yourself, I get. What are you getting? -2, -2. So you're getting what? +1. So now what is the gradient of BC? You are getting -4 -R over 3 minus 4. So of course this will be -4 minus R over -1. So now let's work. Now we must equate the two. So equate over 1 equals to -4 -R over -1. Then now we do the cross multiplication. Of course, we'll have -1 equals to -4 R. So R can come this side to have what? -4 plus 4. So R equals to -3. Is it reasonable? -3. So it means at this point, this point and this point are on same line, kind of straight line, I get. What type of quadrilateral is this? What type of quadrilateral? One pair is parallel, the other one is not parallel. What type of quadrilateral is that? So that will be trapezium, I get, and so on. Then now, determine the coordinates of P. What is P? P is here. About P is the midpoint. So P is the midpoint of. So you work it. What is your coordinates? What are you getting? You get, obviously x is 0, I get. And what is the y value? You show all your calculations, I get. What is the y value? Minus -1, I get. Then we have got the coordinates of P as 0 and -1. Prove that PB is, what is PB? P is here, B is here, is perpendicular to AD. AD is this one here. Show that they are perpendicular. So what have we done? We find the gradient of AD. Yes, what? Because remember, if you prove they are perpendicular, you must show that the gradient when you multiply they give us -1. Again. So now, did we find the gradient of AD again? It gave us +1. Now we must find the gradient of BP. What is the gradient of BP? So if you work it out, you get what? -1. So if you now you're going to solve that to say gradient of AD multiplied by the gradient of PP. Now you substitute. This is 1, this is multiplied by -1. What is the answer? Then you can do, therefore, these two are perpendicular since the product of the gradients is -1. Okay? Determine the equation of the circle passing through P BA in the form of this one. Now let's draft that. It's passing through PBA. It's passing through PBA. A is down there. So the circle is passing through P and B and A. So let's just draft a circle in here. Something like this. You can see that again. And then now, if that is the case, they want the equation of the cycle in that case. So which one can be the mid? Because remember this equation is cycle centers again. A and B. Which one can be the diameter here? Looking at this cycle, which one can be the diameter? Let's erase this part. Which one can be the circle? The diameter? AB. So we must find the midpoint of AB. So what is the midpoint of AB? The midpoint of AB let's just give it M. X of course we'll have 3 minus 2 over 2. Then we have negative 3 plus into negative 4 over 2. You are saying what is the coordinate? This one will give us 1 over 2. Here are finding negative. Why are you finding negative? Because CS negative and negative. Yes? Yeah? For the y, there is negative. That is be negative 7. That's the 1. That's be negative half. So that would be negative 7 over 2. Yeah. So that is the center. Now let's substitute what we have. Now if you substitute the small part that we have, now it means we'll have x minus, what is there? A is half, all squared, plus, now what is left is y minus, plus again, 7 over 2 all squared equals to r squared. Can you see that? Now from there, we substitute any point. So the simplest point is P again. So substitute P into that equation. P with the coordinates of 0 and negative 1 again. But to be safe, you can substitute again. Maybe negative 2 and negative 3, that will be safe. So now x is what? 0. So I have 0 minus half squared plus y negative 1 and then plus 7 over 2 all squared equals to r squared. What do you get? Positive 13 over 2. That is r squared again. Now from there, you're going to change where there is r squared. You simply put this is equals to 13 over 2. Then you get your 5 marks free. Is there any question? Calculate the maximum radius of the circle having equation this one. Let's check this equation. They are saying they want the maximum radius. Remember, if you want the radius, you must write it in terms of completing the square. Okay? Yeah? So we have x. Now, what is the coefficient of x here? Minus 2 cos theta. When again? Then what is half of it? It will be negative cos of theta. Is that correct? All squared plus y. Now, what is the coefficient of y squared here? Then we have negative 2 cos of theta all squared, and then equals to, now what do? We have negative 2. Then now, what is this one? We must square this one. Okay? Roll over, obviously, it will be positive cos squared theta. Okay? Plus, this one will be what? 4. Okay? Plus 4 cos squared theta. Now, because we were interested on the radius, we will take the part of the radius. Okay? So now, they want the maximum. Let's see. It means we'll say now negative 2 are the auxiliary verb guy plus 5 cos of squared theta. Can you see that? Now let's focus here. What is the maximum value of cos? 1. So we have minus 2 plus 5 into 1 squared. Because the maximum value of cos is 1. So now we have what? The maximum value here will be 30. That will be the maximum value of the radius that you can get here. No questions? Yes. Hey. Radius. Yes. Minus 2, yes, radius. Yes, this is r. In fact, this is r squared equals to. Again, let's write it well. R squared equals to. But now, what is the maximum in that case? That will be that. So this should be r equals to square root of 3. Again, now the key is that maximum value of cos is what? Is 1. So we substitute the maximum here. Yes, that will be negative 1. Where? Which one? More? This one? Hey. Agro, what is the really a halfway agro square? Then I'll square out this part over guy. To square out negative cos theta all squared. Over guy. Then if we just square out this part we want you are completing the square. The same 2023. November 2023. Is this maths? Maths 312. That was last year's question paper. Okay, let's go through diagram. Like I say in the diagram, the circle with center O as equation x squared plus y squared equals to 20. So that is the smaller circle, I get. Circle centered at O. So that's the smaller circle, and G is a point, is the center, which T and 0 on the large circle. The common tangent touches the circles at D and F respectively, such that D is having the coordinates of P and minus 2 lies on the in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant is fine. They're saying, what I'll say, common tangent circles touches D and F respectively, such that D or D is on the fourth quadrant. Okay, it's fine. Let's see the questions. Given that D start point lies on the smaller circle, show that P equals to 4. You must show that barfile D again. Pn minus 2. Then, but we have the equation here. They are saying we must show that P is 4 again. So now we substitute into this equation of x squared plus y squared equals to 20 again. So x guy p, and that will be p squared again, plus y guy negative 2 squared equals to 20. Now p squared equals to, now this will be that will be 20 minus 4, so that is 16. So square root of 16 is what? That will be plus minus 4. So therefore p equals to 4 again. E with the coordinates E with the coordinates 6 and 2 is a midpoint of DF. Determine the coordinates of what? A. So what is the result for? So they want the coordinates of F. What are the coordinates of F? What are the coordinates? You use the midpoint today. You must give me the common values. You know the coordinates. D is 4 and minus 2. E is 6 and 2. You want the coordinates of F. What are you getting? 8 and 6. Okay. Next question. Determine the equation of the common tangent, df, in the form of y equals to mx plus b plus c. What is the equation? df here. That one is simple. I remember very good. The equation of df, eh? We have all the coordinates, so the equation of tangent is supposed to be simple. Eh? Di kemana guys? Kenapa mau kemana guys? Y equals to x. Kamu kali kemana? Eh? Show that the value of t, or calculate the value of t, show all the workings. What is t? T is here. Show the value of t. Very much. Show all the working. So obviously we have the radius and the tangent. So we don't know the equation of this, but we can find the equation of fg, or we can use the gradient to get t again, because we know that the gradient when multiply they must give us -1. So very computer c. What are you getting? the value of t how many are getting 20? So t equals to 20. Fine. Now it means now we have the coordinates of 20 and 0. Let's move on. Determine the equation of the larger cycle in the form of this one. So if you write common like that. So you have the center and then you can get the radius. Can you get me the standard equation first? Then we'll expand to have that part. What is the standard equation? X minus 20 squared plus y minus squared equals to radius ke bokae? 180. In that case, so now we have to expand the left hand side, I guess, because they want it in the form of expansion form. So let's expand and have what are expander? This one jibele x atomic pele, y squared at the pele, and with these numbers, and tell me what you get. They will say we must write in the form of this part. So after that you must expand. What you are getting? You are getting x squared minus or plus? Plus y squared 40x plus 2 20 equals to 0. That would be the case. So that's after expansion. Now the smaller cycle must be translated by k units along the x-axis. So if it's translated along the x-axis, it must move by x. Again, it must move only by x, not y. Along the x-axis to touch the larger cycle internal. Calculate the possible values of k. Yes. Equation. This is the equation. Now, can we move on? The question is that the smaller cycle must be translated by k units along the x-axis to touch the larger the larger cycle internal. Calculate the possible values of k. So now, what is happening here? Let's erase this other part. But what are we having? This cycle, remember, cycle already touch internal, or it must move from center to this part. I get this part. What is the radius of this part? What is the radius of this one? 2 square root of, which is square root of 20. Now, there is also the radius of this bigger cycle. I get. Let's check it here. What is it? 6 square root of. Now, this cycle, also move in Kamoganayo. Alright, so move so that it will touch this cycle internal. Or this cycle must be moved through. Maybe let's draw kind of image to be here. Can you see that? That's when you touch this internal. Again. Now, already internal in that case. Or this cycle must shift. And you got more feel like you got home or you got home at this point. So can you see there are two possible ways? There are two possible ways that can happen here. So it can touch here or it can touch there. So now we need to move this cycle all the way from here to here. So when I get, so now I touch it, if you home, then right this point up until where? Because here I come at the center, it will be somewhere at this point again. So now how can we move this cycle up to this level? Yeah. So if it's a moraling, okay, we move how many units? K units to go there. So what should we do? Because now we have the distance between this one and this one, between the two centers. So we need K units that we remove must be translated that way. So how can it be translated? So remove the radius. So remove with the radius. So if you look at this carefully, we know the units all the way from here, from the center up to this level. Is that correct? You know the units from here, from this center to this cycle. You know is how many units? How many units? 6 root of. Okay, then now how many units from this center up to there? From center of this smaller circle up to T or G here is 20 units, I get. So now if we know that from here to here is 20 units. And now outdoor circle or circle fel legam. Oro sanje rear minus saying row minus sama tomorrow from this 20 units, from this length of 20 units. Oro circle rate legam. Usanje minus saying row minus this part. Outdoor usanje minus diameter and bigam. Rega minus we know it's 20. So if you minus this piece, what is this piece here? Do we know this piece? That is another trick. We don't know this small amount. Do we know that? But you can know that by aggregate from here to here is 20. Is that correct? So if from here to here is 20, and I know this piece and this piece, I can know this piece. How? By saying 20 minus this piece and this piece, I'll know this one. And once I know this piece, or this piece this circle. Is that correct? Yeah? So I must say okay 20 minus I get. So if I subtract, I can subtract both of them. I can subtract what? 20 20 minus 2 root of 5. I get. And what? Minus 6 root of 5. Now if I do this, I will get this space. I get. I know how much is this space. Then now, but now I must something is missing here. What if I know this space, then I know the gap, the first unit that this must be translated to be here. I get. If okay, I subtract, what is the answer? 2 comma, can you give me in this terms of the roots? 2 comma or 2,11 2,11 in that case. That clear? So that this space one part of the circular rate. If this circle you move this unit or this require, where will be this second? This circle will be here. Why what? Yeah. But now I want this circle to be inside. What must I add to this piece so that this circle will be inside? I must add this diameter, this which is 2 root of 5 times 2. I must add it to this 2.11. So that now the circle will be inside. So what will be the answer? Eleven comma 05. Now that is the value of K units that this circle must shift to be here. Is that clear? Yeah. Go from this one, yes. It's like, yeah. 2 square root of 5. Sorry, this is equivalent. Is it equivalent to 2 square root of 5? Ye nyani. So just then come on. Renalo to amo ufita maga. Ke bokae ke 2.11. Wena wa itlhakatlhakanya. Agare this piece level this space ke 2.11. If circle e move or k isa mathomo. E ka no k yo move space out yang o tlo mo fitlang, which is yo ba mo le circle wa bona. Yo cho e goma external. If goma external. Then now can you circle ba re swantse goma internal. Or goma internal is the only way it will the whole diameter swantse move it then ka mo are ka mo wa bona. Diameter ke bokae ke 2 square root of 5 times 2. So ra swantse move another units that diameter is then ka mo. That's why it go 2.11 plus the diameter of the smaller circle, then it gives this one. Is that clear? Then that is the first part, but I also showed you that it can also move to be here again. So what can we do to move it to this level? Yeah? Karadia. Agree the safest part go now re atsware mo imovile how many units again? Now that units ye moving from here. So o shetse ka bokae or e gome this part here. So we move from this point up to where? Up to here. Okay. The other thing is that from all the way from here to here, we know it's the diameter, which is 6. Is it 6 root of 5? 6 root of 5. I get all the way from center to there. Then circular if you more, or you memorizing. Now we must calculate. Agree as well if you more. Then you move this 11. So we must go to add to this 11 now. Add how many units? Or add the space that must be left. Or the diameter of space say all the way from here to here. What are you buying it? Diameter this one minus radius here, get this piece here. What are you getting? The radius, which is 6 root of 5 minus the diameter here, okay? Which is what? Can you say 4 root of 5? 4 root of 5. Get this piece. Or else, let's just need to move from this. Then the piece from here to here. What? Or the diameter again. You're buying 6 root of 5 minus this diameter again. What are you about this part times 2? By add a guy, we add it to 11, comma 11,05. But especially if you find the first part, then that is another way you can get the second option. So that is just an interpretation again. You just work around it and see what you get. But you check if you get the ones on the name. But this will be the first answer again. Right? Yes. Eric. Or Ika. Kian. Itu benar useless. Eh. Mhm. Mhm. Kalau question ni wuri wona hutu bulu na. Awe inya. Awe ke robejin nan. Right,